Yeah, it's Ken Kraetzer for CBSI Talking Services. We're in New York City today. Get a chance to visit with our good friend Ryan Craver, who is the president of Commerce Canal and also the editor of a terrific weekly newsletter, Tech Infused Retailer. And Ryan, good to see you. What's been happening? It's been a good year for overall sales. The retailers, brick and mortar, continue to suffer, but some are innovating and doing some neat things. What's some of the big drivers this year?
Yeah, so I think what's happened is you've seen a lot of these retailers come out with their financial results. They've actually been quite good on the top line. They've shown pretty strong results sales-wise. A lot of that's being driven by the e-commerce increases, but Walmart, Target, all of these guys have had very, very strong results. For the big box guys, the department stores have even done 2 to 3%. Some have even close to 5 or 6, like Saks. So everyone's been very, very strong. But prior to all these releases, a lot of the market built in this optimism. And what's happening is you see that top line go up, but because it's driven by e-commerce, you see the bottom line profits not flow through. So I think there was a lot of optimism. It was met with some good numbers, but it just wasn't rosy enough for a lot of the investors. So the mainstream media has turned very negative on retail. I think you look at the rest of December, it's going to be very, very strong. Unemployment's low, spending is up, consumer optimism, despite some of the, issues around China and things like that are actually very, very strong. So I think we're going to see a strong Q4, maybe see a bit of weakness in Q1.
Well, certainly a strong Black Friday. It's really a Black Friday week around Thanksgiving that people are online purchasing and then going out to stores as well. But we're definitely becoming such a mobile first buying society. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on Thanksgiving sales.
Yeah, so those 5 days, starting with Thanksgiving, were phenomenal this past year. The majority of the outlets that provide the forecast, they said anywhere from 13 to 15% it would be up. You look at every single day, at least every single day was up 22 to 25%, depending upon where you were taking your information from. The majority of the information that I follow is from Adobe because they have the largest set of data points to pull from. Thanksgiving, to your question, has grown in popularity for shopping, both online and some of the stores are still opening late on Thanksgiving. It was incredibly strong. Friday was very, very strong, as it usually is with Black Friday. But then Super Saturday and Super Sunday, which I'm calling them now, were very, very strong. And then Cyber Monday set the record for online sales historically for the country. So there was nothing to be upset about.
One of the charts that you had on your Twitter page was very interesting. It showed that there's a surge in sales around 7 a.m. in the day as people check their mobile phones early and may see an ad they want to take advantage of, and then shopping being really done later in the day. Is that just a sign of the way people are going to their mobile phone first in the day and maybe taking advantage of an offer they see?
Yeah, it's you've hit the nail on the head. So you generally see when people are commuting in, it's a lot of mobile traffic. Or when they're waking up, it's a lot of mobile traffic. From that time frame of 6 a.m. Eastern through to 9 a.m. Eastern, very, very strong. And then 3 hours later on the other coast. Second time in which you see a spike is usually around lunchtime when people are at work, start shopping during lunch. And then you see another strong round of mobile at the end of the day when people are commuting home. And then the last strong set of mobile and some desktop along with some tablet, even though tablet's very, very weak nowadays, is when everyone's going to sleep. So you see Coast 1, East Coast happen. 3 hours later, you see Coast 2, West Coast happens. And there's really 4 major times throughout the day that you see that strength. If you start to look at the week, Generally, what we see is Thursday is typically the weakest. Sunday night is very, very strong as people get ready for the work week, and then Monday is very, very strong. Tuesday is probably the third strongest day in the world of e-commerce for sales.
I have to say that I made a few purchases from Macy's online this year. They have become very aggressive with their online marketing, their ads, and is that just the key for retailers to become aggressive, build their technology for online to complement their stores? And is that something like Macy's has done? Are there others that have been able to match that kind of being able to go down the learning curve on e-commerce?
Yeah, so all the retailers, given that we represent 50 plus brands, all of the retailers were very, very strong this year to add anything and everything they could to the website that was within their target market or within their customer base. So Macy's added a bunch of new items that are online only, that are shipping directly from the brand. They believe that the longer tail that they have of the product, the more likely you are to check out, the more likely you are to see a brand supporting them through marketing, through click ads and things like that. So yes, I think they are taking their core stores, like the one across the street, the big Herald Square store, and then complementing any offerings in the store with additional brands and additional SKUs and colors and sizes that you might not find in the store online.
And programmatic advertising seems to be improving in terms of that this phenomenon everybody talks about. You click on an ad on a web page perhaps, and then you start seeing it on any of the social media newsletters you may get. Is that process improving? Is that something that just the better marketers are more adept at?
Yeah, so I think the retargeting, as you're describing, I think it had its best return for advertisers and for brands when it first came out, and everyone was shocked. Now a lot of people are desensitized and they don't necessarily see the same returns they do when they're retargeted. So after you visit the site, when you see it pop back up and you're like, I'm used to this now. Where we're seeing a lot of interest is, for a number of reasons, is with Amazon. So Amazon didn't have a very strong advertising group previously. They now are much stronger. They've also got the benefit of Facebook going through all their dilemmas, if you want to call them that. So a lot of people are shifting their budgets to Amazon. They know that is the last point of a purchase, so they get straight attribution of it actually working or not working, and they have 48% market share of the e-commerce growth this year. So I can't fault them for moving to Amazon. Amazon for us is now the largest portion of the advertising spend that we spend on a monthly basis, daily basis, weekly basis. So I think that trend will continue.
One question about technology sales that you noted was the flat growth in smartphones worldwide at just under about 1.5 billion units for the last couple of years has plateaued. I know we're waiting for the 5G phones to come out next year to see what capability they bring. Why is that area hit a plateau? And are there other areas like that that are waiting for new technology to grow further?
Yeah, fantastic question. So the top two markets, China and the US, have plateaued or have at least seen their growth rates decelerate. So the top two are slowing. That's going to lead to the global numbers having some impact. India still has some growth and room to it because a lot more of that consumer class is still moving their way up into smartphones. But generally, the excitement in China and the US around the new iPhone offerings, around the new Samsung offerings, around the new Pixel offerings from Google, around the new HTC, all of these offerings just really haven't felt like a step change for a lot of people. You're seeing people hold them longer. You're also seeing flexible spending plans or buying plans proliferate. So a lot more carriers are now offering your monthly pays. So a lot more people believe that they truly need to have a 2-year, 3-year life cycle on their phones. And I think that's driving a lot of why we're seeing what we're seeing.
And just a thought on what's going to happen as we get very close to the Christmas holiday. And gift cards, as many people receive, it's going to send a lot of people into stores right after. What are some of the...
And online.
And online. What are some of the keys as we get right close to the 25th and then go into the big shopping week after?
Yeah, something that we're definitely telling all the brands that we represent or we sell on behalf of is January has become a huge, huge month for gift cards. Every year you and I talk, it becomes bigger and bigger as a size of the overall calendar of where we're seeing purchasing. So what I would tell everyone is make sure you are ready for that gift card binging to happen December 26th. December 26th is Boxing Day in Canada, but in the US it starts the gift card binge. So be ready for it, have all your product available, have that value proposition there online or in the stores because January, before we know it, is going to be one of the largest months we have in the year for purchasing relative to December and November.
Very good. And Ryan Craver, President of Commerce Canal. Tell us a little bit about your company and some of the brands. You work for some very exciting brands.
Yeah, so we've got about 50 brands that we're representing globally or in the US and Canada. So we are doing everything from representing them through sales, where we're selling to a Costco or a Kohl's or a Macy's, to running their entire brand online via Amazon, cradle to grave, so making sure we merchandise it, sell it, market it for them. We've got 50 plus brands, some of which you'll recognize, the New Balances and the Logitechs of the world, to much smaller private label brands that are on Amazon. So.
Ryan Craver, thank you so much for talking with us again. We enjoy hearing your expertise in retail and e-commerce and keeping us up to date. And you're the president of Commerce Canal, an apparel company, and also the editor of Tech Infused Retailer. That you have great discipline about issuing every Monday morning some great insight into what's happening. Best wishes for you and your family for the holidays, and we'll look forward to keeping in touch.
Awesome. Thanks for your time. Happy holidays, everyone.
Hey, Ryan, thank you. This is Ken Kraetzer in New York City today for CBSI Talking Business.